Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? This is your boy Isaac,
And this is your boy Bryce.
and we are brothers on tennis. And folks, happy new year to you. We have made it to yet another year, yet another tennis season, 2026. Man, Bryce, it came quick, of course. We had our burnt out moments, but I tell you what, bruh, 2026, I'm ready for it. I'm here for it. I'm pretty energized. How are you feeling? How are things going on your end, my man?
I'm energized as well. I think we really made a point to let people know that we kind of got burnt out at the end of last year. And then who was it? Katrina? Wasn't it Katrina who told us like, see now you know what we felt like
Right,
actually
right.
being on the tour. But no, I am energized, ready for the season. I guess my big prediction for this year is I do think 2026 is going to be the year that a lot of your favorites are going to start exiting in terms of, we typically always consider them contenders and to be in the late rounds of the majors. I have a feeling like this is the year that the transition happens with this new batch
Mhm.
of players. And it's no disrespect to anybody that's out there. This is what happens. One generation starts to go out, a new generation starts to come in. Uh, so that makes this year very exciting to me because although I don't think there's going to be much of a change on the men in terms of who's winning the big titles, the women could be a little interesting.
I think the women are going to be spicy, bro. Seriously. I think that there is just a lot of contenders on the women's side. There are a lot of people that are coming into form. Like I said, watch out for Amanda Anisimova. There's, Mboko. I mean, you've got so many ladies out there that, in my opinion, can really have an outstanding 2026. I mean,
Right.
hey, we already, one week in and look at Maria Sakkari trying to take out Osaka and Raducanu. I mean, is she trying to find her form again? So yeah, the women's side is gonna be popping. I feel like you said, it's gonna be fire.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But we are here today to talk about 2025.
Yeah.
And although we've already had our wrap up show with our illustrious panel that we had with Katrina Adams, Zena Garrison, and Chandler Rubin, we thank those ladies again for spending a little time with us. Today, it's the BOT Awards.
POT
And
awards.
this is our opportunity to give out a little hardware virtually for our favorite categories. As a reminder, no shade here. This is all in good fun. This is entertainment. This is what we like to do. But make sure you drop a note in our comments if you agree with us on some of these or if you have some other recommendations for the winners of some of these categories. So, Isaac, as a reminder, we have 6 categories. We have Player of the Year. In each of these categories, we have a winner from both the WTA and the ATP tours. So
Yes.
we have Player of the Year, Newcomer of the Year, Breakout Performance of the Year, Upset of the Year, the No You Didn't category, which is always a fun one, and then maybe our favorite one, which is the Petty Award. Who is going to be Mr. or Mrs. Petty for 2025? So, Isaac, I think we just go ahead and jump into it and let's start off with Player of the Year.
Player of the year. That's right. Well, I mean, it really shouldn't be too much of a surprise on either side. I mean, I know that there could be a little argument here or there on the lady side, but then again, maybe not, because if you look at the point totals, it wasn't close. So on the lady side, we picked Arena Sabalenka. Again, even though again she got kind of whooped up in the Australian Open final. She got, mentally whooped up in the French Open Roland Garros final. I forget which round she went out in at Wimbledon. But with all of that being said, she comes in with all of that. She gets in the US Open and she gets it done and she gets her a major for the year. And like I said, point total wise, she is far and above the number one player. So to me, it is the right call. I know a lot of people were like, "Hey, what about blah." Everybody has a little bit of an argument, but at the end of the day, when you win a Grand Slam and you're that far ahead from a point total standpoint, you deserve to be Player of the Year. Bryce, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's really simple. She had more points than anybody else.
Is it exactly?
I mean, it would be, I think, highway robbery to give it to somebody who did not earn as many points as she did in the calendar year.
Exactly.
So I know she would have preferred to have had more than one Grand Slam, but we've had people be number one in the world who didn't win a Grand Slam
And never had won a Grand Slam.
and never won a Grand Slam. So shout out to Sabalenka for, really maintaining, really, keeping off some very talented people. I mean, when you got Iga in the mix and Coco in the mix and Anna Samovic came and showed out and
Yeah,
Rabakina, showed toward the end of the year that looked like she's back. I mean, those are some pretty mean ladies to stay ahead of. So, good
absolutely.
job by her.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. It'll be an interesting fight this year. It's gonna be a very interesting fight, but I feel like she's up to the task though.
Right,
We'll end up seeing what ends up happening, but that's why I said, y'all, 2026 for the ladies is gonna be fire. So
right,
y'all need to
right.
tune in for sure. And Bryce, what about the ATP side?
Well, see, and I think with the men, there could be a bigger argument because when you think about, the new two, Alcaraz and Sinner, they both won two majors. They both, made it to the year-end championships, into the final. But Sinner actually won it. But just like the same logic we use for Sabalenka, Alcaraz had the most number of points. And the crazy thing about that, excuse me for the phone ring. Somebody don't know we recording. Um, the crazy thing about it to make you want to shout out Center a little more is that he was that close to Alcaraz, even with the suspension, you
Yes.
know?
3 month suspension.
Exactly. So, but the message here is kids don't do drugs. So, Alcaraz stayed clean, and Alcaraz ends up getting the most number of points.
There you
What do
go.
you think?
Hey, bro, that is the perfect way to put it. Kids don't do drugs. That is awesome. But you're exactly right. I mean, literally, if it wasn't for the suspension that he had, he would have acquired more points than Carlos, and he likely would have been Player of the Year. But again, he missed those 3 months, and mind you, that was Indian Wells, Miami, I forget what else, but yeah. So the fact that he was still able to be that close from a point total standpoint is really commendable on his part. But like I said, Carlos deserved to be
Yes.
player of the year. He deserves to be the number one player in the world. So
Right.
yeah,
Right.
there you go.
So shout out to Alcaraz and Sabalenka for our players of the year. So let's just keep it going.
Yes.
Next category, newcomer of the year. And the way that I look at this is who is a player that you may not have even known before last year, or it definitely wasn't on the tip of your tongue. And they had performances and results that now they in that group for you. And for me on the WTA side, that person was Victoria Mboko. Now, granted, because we follow tennis a little more, we kind of knew of her the year before, but we hadn't really seen any real results yet. And I felt like in 2025, especially when she came out and won the Canadian Open, her country's tournament, she's now has a, what do we call them on the women's side? The tier ones. Tier ones? Is that
Yeah,
what
it's
we
tier
call them?
one.
Tier
Yeah.
ones. She's already, how many women don't have a tier one period? And she already got one in the bag now.
Yeah.
Um, and the thing that I like about her, and this is no disrespect, again, no disrespect to our queen, Coco Gauff, who we love, but I think she has a lot of the same strengths as Coco Gauff without the same weaknesses.
Right.
And I think Coco, the edge Coco has on her right now is experience. And I am going to be very excited to see what Mboko does in 2026 because I think she's I will make this prediction because I think she's ranked number 16 or 17 right now. She'll be in the top 10
Oh, all right.
she'll be a top 10 this year. So somebody up there make room.
That is a bold prediction, Bryce. Mboko.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Mboko.
man, I am all about Victoria Mboko. I love that young lady. I love her presence, her aura. When she's on court, you know that she's about fighting and getting that W. She doesn't let, anything mental get in the way. And that to me is what I look at the most is who's got that mental, framework where they go out and they're just like, you know what? This ain't a question. It's all about the matchup. It's not about the mental. And to me, that's such a big quality and strength of hers. I just think this young lady is fantastic. And like you said, I believe that she is definitely trending in the right direction. She's trending up. And there will be a lot of very impressive results that I see her getting as again, like you said, as she continues to build, just stack those W's, stack the experience. And as she continues to get more experience, I think bigger things are going to happen with her. So love Victoria Mboko, and yes, she is most definitely the newcomer of the year.
Yes. So what are you thinking about on the ATP side?
On the ATP side, now you and I were talking about this before, and so y'all, we got somebody we're gonna award, but we also got somebody that is an honorable mention because I feel like these two guys definitely jumped on the scene and really showed up and showed out. The first one, and who we're actually nominating and or giving the award to, would be Joao Fonseca. Joao has he is lighting things up just as it relates to being on the tour, his popularity. This is a Brazilian cat, and everybody is loving him, and he has a big, massive game. They are already predicting that he is going to be that third element to push the new two. Now, that's early. We'll see what ends up happening, but again, he's jumped on the scene. He won an ATP Tour title last year. I don't know if he won the next gen or not, but regardless, he really, in my opinion, had a very good breakout year, and his name is on everybody's tongue. So so again, he may not have had the biggest results that you may have seen, but just the fact that he gets as much support as someone who is in the top 10 when he's going around to tournaments, he's already being invited to exhibitions. I mean, come on now. He is definitely someone who has jumped on the scene in 2025. So Joao Fonseca is newcomer of the year for the ATP side. But our honorable mention is Learner Tien. If you don't know that name, you better know it. You better learn it because Learner Tien is an outstanding young American player and just lefty,
Mm-hmm.
he's got a very stylistic game in the sense that he knows how to use his leftiness. And he's
Mm-hmm.
not the biggest guy, but again, he knows about tactics. And that's what impresses me the most about him. So honorable mention, but Bryce, I will throw it over you to talk about both Fonseca and Leonard Tien.
Yeah, I two things, and I'll start with Lerner. I believe he did win the next gen
He
uh,
did,
title this year.
2025.
So that just kind of proves what we're talking about a little bit there. Um, but Fonseca, something that I'm going to bring up about him that isn't even really about him
Mm,
is he has that Brazilian fan base. So wherever he goes, his opponents are not just playing against him, if
correct.
you know what I mean.
Exactly.
And that can get you through some matches and it can unnerve some of your opponents. So I'm just very excited to see how both of these guys are going to do in 2026. I don't think anybody's going to want to see them, and even speaking about Mboko, in a section of the draw.
That's right.
you know.
Exactly. Exactly.
So moving on to upset of the year.
Yes.
A couple of very interesting ones here that we have. Isaac, I'm gonna let you talk about the women. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the men here for this one. And this is a very interesting one. This one may have slipped past some people on the radar, but Vachereau uh, in the Shanghai Master Series tournament, he took out a number of people, most notably Djokovic in straight sets. Um, and he played his cousin in the final Rent Connect, and he was ranked number 204. He is now in the history books as being the lowest ranked player to ever win a Master Series 1000. Putting yourself in the history books, that's a hell of an upset. And once again, like we were talking, how many male players don't have a 1000 title? And
Right.
he already got one in the bag. And he took down the GOAT in his way. So I figured that was a huge upset. I had figured nobody at the start of that tournament predicted that he was going to be the one holding the trophy at the end.
Bryce, I didn't even know who he was before that tournament. Let us be very clear. And like I said, folks, we are tennis analysts. We are tennis enthusiasts. We watch tennis
Mm-hmm.
24/7. I had never heard of Valentin Vacheron. I was like, who is this dude? Okay, he got a cousin from France. Okay, that's nice. But then he starts stacking these victories and stacking these W's. And I'm just kind of like, okay, he's kind of serious. And then
Mm-hmm.
I actually saw him play a match, and I was like, this dude might be real. He might actually be the real. And like you said, Bryce, when he jumped up on Novak and beat him in straight sets, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, you are definitely somebody to watch out for. And that to me was just major. And to then have the wherewithal to get into a final with your cousin, who is an established
Mm-hmm.
ATP player, because Render Connect is someone whose name we've heard. He's been, very much big, on the radar as far as French tennis goes. For him to play his cousin and be able to take him down in a Masters 1000, and mind you, folks, he's 200 something in the world, first ever Master Series tournament, if you will, and he in the final and he takes down his cousin. That is ridiculous. That
And
is
you know what?
upset of the year.
That may have been helpful for him to, because you know he knows Render Connect's game, right?
Right, right.
So that may have been helpful for him in the nerves department in the finals to be
Yeah.
like, oh,
Oh,
this is Arthur.
exactly. It's my cousin. We done
Yeah,
played before.
I beat him a lot. you know?
Exactly, man. So, but still, to be able to do what he did,
Yes.
upset of the year for sure, gets awarded to him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, on the lady side, I'll jump over to the lady side. Um, you know, I know I get a lot of flack, and I've always gotten flack about Madison Keys, but I'm gonna tell you what, y'all. Madison Keys showed up and showed out at that 2025 Australian Open.
Mm-hmm.
And that is some of the best tennis I have ever seen her play. And not only the best tennis, but it was the most mentally
Mm-hmm.
focused, strong. It was amazing to see her play. And mind you, we're not going to go through all the folks she beat, but let's be clear. That semifinal against Iga,
Mm-hmm.
come on, man. Iga has had her number. Iga is the mental strength. And Madison took her to a third set and was able to come through and beat Iga. No one expected that. That is a major upset. And then you make it to your second Grand Slam final in
Mm-hmm.
your career, and you're playing the number one player in the world who has won that tournament already two times in a row, going for a three-peat, and you get
Mm-hmm.
up in there and you take her to a third set, and then you actually close it out in the manner in which she did. No fear, no hesitation. I'm telling you what, y'all. Madison Keys showed up and showed out, and those to me were the major upsets on the women's side. Bryce, I'll throw it to you.
Yeah, I agree with you. It was funny because, when we were talking about this, there was another match that we had even kind of considered. And I know this sounds weird, but let me explain a little bit. We were talking about Sabalenka beating Iga in the semifinals of Roland Garros. You may say, well, they're top two players. I mean, they're going to go back and forth. The dirt is in the details, no pun intended, because, each of them kind of has their surfaces where they are a little more dominant. Iga is basically the queen of clay, except versus Queenie. And
And Coco.
right. But she ended up going 3 sets. 3 sets weren't good to Iga this year with Sabalenka, and Sabalenka bageled her on clay at Roland Garros in the third set. I mean,
Crazy.
even if Sabalenka were to just simply win that match, no one would expect for her to win it with a third set bagel over Iga. So, but that was a little bit of an honorable mention. We shout out Madison Keys because honestly, I thought Madison Keys was going to go her whole career with that major, and I was fairly confident in that. But she had a miracle 2 weeks there, and she
Yeah.
absolutely did the thing.
Yeah, she did, man. It was so impressive. So,
Mm.
Madison, congratulations on
Yes,
upsets of the
yes,
year because I got to put both of them in there.
yes, yes. So Isaac,
Yo,
let's keep it with you. Breakout performance.
breakout performance. So I'll stick on the lady side because, I just, yeah. I, breakout performance. And I know that you all are like, well, wait a minute, but she been out there for a minute. But simply put, she went off. She had her, her mental wellness and health and wellness and all that. She comes back on tour and she is just blazing. And who I'm talking about is Amanda Anisimova. Y'all, Anisimova is doing some things. And what she did in 2025, especially that back half, was really, really ridiculous. I mean, again, making it to the Wimbledon final. And mind you, you get bageled, double bageled. Iga was like, now, sis, this is mine. And we understand that. But then to be able to turn around and then come back and play that same individual in the US Open, I believe it was semis
Uh-huh.
and turn that around, win that match, and then make it to the final to then play the number one player in the world. And oh, by the way, yeah, you did lose that match, but still, you've made two Grand Slam finals and you're just now coming back on tour. Man, come on, man. Breakout performance, absolutely 100% is Amanda Anisimova. She had a fantastic 2025. And y'all, don't think she finished. I actually believe she will end up holding a Grand Slam in 2026. I really believe that. Bryce, what are your thoughts, bro?
Yeah, and you're not alone in those thoughts. We know Katrina and Chanda and Azina were kind of feeling the same way. Um, you know, I'm gonna just leave it with this. There's a lot I can say, but I'm gonna just leave it with this. She's right now ranked number 3 in the world behind Sabalenka and Iga. She done passed Coco up. She's now the top ranked American woman.
What else can you say?
There you go.
That's it.
So shout out to Amanda. Congratulations. We're looking for big things from you this year. But let's bounce it over to the men real quick. And when I think about breakout performance, it's kind of almost a little bit like Newcomer for me because it's like we didn't know who you were, and you came and you did something insane. And I'm talking about Terrence Atman. And when we were in Cincinnati at the tournament, and he was whipping up on Fritz and Runa. And granted, he lost in the semifinals to Yannick Sinner, but This guy, I forgot what he was. He was in the deep 100s. He ended up ending the year like number 61 or 62. He's now in the mix of things. And the thing that I like about him is that he understood that he was so exhausted because he had come through qualifying in Cincinnati, made it to the semis, had won all these matches. He knew he was done. He had nothing for the US Open, but he had already earned enough points to set him up for the next year. So he was like, y'all, it was good. Y'all not going to see me in New York. Take a little time off. And now I'm really interested to see how he's going to back this up in 2026. But he has an amazing game. If I remember correctly, he's left-handed. He had great hands at the net, big serve. Um, he's going to cause some people some headaches this year.
Oh
So
yeah.
shout out to that breakout performance in Cincinnati this year, making it to the semifinals, and no shame in going out to Yannick Sinner.
None whatsoever. I mean, like I said, Yannick is the one of the big two. So if you're gonna go out to somebody, that's who you need to go out to. But like you said, Bryce, what a great performance. And it was a feel-good story. He's a good young man, had a lot of good things to say about him. And like I said, he just showed up and showed out in Cincinnati. So definitely looking forward to seeing what he brings to the table in 2026.
And an assistant college professor.
Yeah, right? Come on. Crazy. Crazy. Feel good story. So good. So happy for him.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
All right, Isaac. So we got our two special categories left.
The fun ones.
Yes, yes. So the no you didn't category, which is somebody did something that you just like, all you can say is no, you didn't.
No, you
You know,
didn't. Uh-uh.
um, who was your pick for this category on one of the tours?
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with the ladies. I'll let you
Okay.
I'll let you handle up on the men. But on the lady side, everybody heard about this story, of course. And it was Yelena Ostapenko and our girl Taylor Townsend. And Ostapenko, she was getting spanked up. She was frustrated. Taylor hit a net cord, did not do the faux apology with the hand raise. Ostapenko took issue with that. And at the end of the match, decided she was going to let her know by calling and telling her she had no class and no education. Um, the no class piece is what to me is the no you didn't because of
Mm-hmm.
anybody on the WTA tour, you should be the last person talking about not having class because you done walked to the net on many occasions and did the little, and walk away, not even touching the player's hand, shaking hands, just being all rude and crazy. And the fact that you would think that that behavior is okay and that you could then tell somebody else that they have no class, no,
Mm-hmm.
you didn't. No,
Right.
you didn't. So that one, again, it was a hot mess. It was all kinds of ugly. But yeah, Ostapenko definitely gets the no you didn't award. How
Right.
about you? What are your thoughts, bro?
And I think I feel, and I don't know this for sure, but I feel like Ostapenko has either been in the no you didn't category or the petty category every
Every
year.
year. Every year. Every year. So there you have it.
She needs some more shelf space for her awards. Um, yeah, no, I totally agree. And what actually ended up happening is it ended up giving Taylor more support
Yeah.
going forward in the tournament, and she had a great U.S. Open.
Yes, she did.
Uh, but yeah, Ostapenko, that's kind of who she is, and I guess we shouldn't be surprised. But she earns the award every year. Um, now, my selection for the ATP side is something that happened at the very end of the year, basically. Um, I don't know how you define success in terms of a partnership between a coach and a player. But I would assume Alcaraz and Ferrero would have to be somewhere up there. And as more data has come out, it has appeared that their split hasn't been anything due to drama or whatever between Juan Carlos and Carlos. It was drama between the Carlos's daddy and Camp and Juan Carlos. And one of the things that is disappointing for me, maybe I could understand it a little more if Alcaraz was like 16 or something like that. But he's a grown ass man now. And if Carlos didn't really want that partnership to end, and it sounds like Juan Carlos didn't either, the two of them could have just been like, look, this is what it is. Everybody else, y'all on the gravy train anyway, you
Right.
know? But I give a big no, you didn't to Carlos Alcaraz's camp, whoever those people may be, for pushing for that relationship to end. And I truly hope that we don't see the effects of that on the court this year from Carlos.
Yeah. I, I echo everything that you just said, bro. The last statement that you just made, unfortunately for me, I do think it's going to show up because I don't think that Carlos has that same compartmentability, if that's even a word, that center does to be able to compartmentalize this, and still be able to be focused and play that high level tennis. I
Right.
just feel like for Carlos, again, he already has kind of, we know in his matches he does this a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wonder if him playing center. Now, mind you, I feel like he'll figure things out with other players, but if he gets into a final with center, especially this Australian Open, I just don't know that he is going to have the right focus or wherewithal to be able to get over the hump. And that's my concern for him is I don't think that he'll take as many losses again to the lower ranked players.
Right.
It's all of that drama when he plays a center. He's got to be, and they've got to be giving him the right messaging from his camp as well. And I'm really kind of concerned about him for the first part of the year. I think it's going to end up shaking itself out, and Carlos will be Carlos, and he's still going to, find that extra, find that cheat code and do what he do. But I just think that for the first few months, unlike Sinner, who immediately after his suspension just came back and started winning things,
Right.
I don't know if I see Carlos winning a ton in this first part of the year. I hope I am wrong. I pray that he proves me wrong because he's our boy. And
Right.
that is my number one. But I just something in my gut just tells me it's going to take him a minute to because I don't I think it was Andy Roddick that was talking about it. Whereas this isn't just, again, it's just not a regular breakup. This is someone that you have been coaching and forming since you were 15 years old. This is someone who you were at their academy. So everything that you've done, there's been a process or system for it. You're now completely changing all of that. You're changing, again, the scenery. You may have the same voices on your team, but you're in a different academy now. That's change. And
Mhm.
a lot of people just don't understand how change can impact people.
Right.
And I just feel again, I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm praying I'm wrong, but
Mhm.
I just feel like there's going to be a little bit of initial fallout based on what happened.
And you know what? And I don't know why I feel this way, but I do feel like they're going to be back together at some point. It may be a couple of years or whatever, but
Yeah.
I do think they are going to find their way back to each other eventually.
I do too, Bryce. It's funny
Mhm.
that you say that because I believe that as well. Because like you said, there was no beef between them. And honestly, when you saw every Grand Slam that Carlitos won, when
Mhm.
he went into the stands, the person that he gave the biggest hugs to was Juan Carlos Ferrero.
Right.
Don't even get it twisted. I mean, even his parents, he was loving on them, but boy, he was like, so
Mhm.
there is a strong relationship that's
There.
there. And it may have, there may be some stuff, people done
Right.
gotten in the way of that. but I don't think those emotions go away. And I do believe, like you said, they'll end up coming back to one another. And I think that the partnership will even be stronger at that point because
Right.
Carlos will be more mature. And like
Yes.
you said, he'll be owning his career a lot more than he does right now.
Correct. Correct. So the No You Didn't award is to the Alex Grace camp.
There you go. Sorry, y'all.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
all right. So we are down to the final category, the the Petty Award. Who gets Mr. Petty? Who gets Miss Petty for the year? Isaac, lead us off.
All right. Well, this time we'll start with the men. Um, I don't even know how to start this one off, y'all. But here's what I'm gonna say. When you retire, go and sit down. Just go and sit down. Sit down. It ain't your business no more. So why are you trying to interject in things is beyond me. Here's what I'm trying to say to y'all. So apparently there was something that was going on that Yannick Sinner was playing. He was playing mixed doubles and he ended up having to pull out. I think it might have even been like the US Open.
It
Was
was
it
for the Open, yeah.
US Open mixed doubles? Y'all know they changed the format and they had all the stars and Yannick and all these other people, Carlitos and all these folks were playing. Well, Yannick, because he had had a exhaustive summer swing,
Mhm.
decided to pull out. And there was an announcer or a journalist that basically recommended, well, hey, why don't you just replace Rajiv Ram with Yannick Sinner? Because again, Rajiv Ram has been the number one doubles player in the world. He's got a resume, y'all. He's done
Yeah.
some things. So that was a legitimate suggestion.
Mhm.
Well, here comes retired former Davis Cup captain Marty Fish,
Right.
who
And
basically
Patrick.
is going to throw some shade talking about, can we get a real tennis player? I, huh? Son, come on now. That that that's not even necessary. You retired, you're sitting on your couch.
Mhm.
There is no need for you to tweet something so silly and you just trying to start drama and madness. Now, mind y'all, folks, there is a history between those two because Marty Fish, when he was the Davis Cup captain, for whatever reason, decided not to put Rajiv Ram, who was the number one doubles player in the world, on the USA Davis Cup team. And Rajiv was like, huh? And looking at him sideways with some side eye, which I would as well. I'm like, I'm the number one. How I'm not gonna make the team? So there was drama because of that. And honestly, quiet as it's kept, that's why reportedly, that's why he ain't Davis Cup captain no more.
You know what happened? Venus was like, "Come here, Marty. Let me whisper in your
Right?
ear."
Okay. Come on, B. Bro, I'm gonna toss it over to you. Cause I mean, come on, man. Sit down.
Yeah, I mean that. You know, Marty wasn't even in it. I mean, this was nothing for him to even interject. And when he threw that out there, that was the pettiest of moves that you could even imagine. And even Ram ended up coming out and saying afterwards, I don't think he's doing okay. Because, I mean,
Question my boy mental.
yeah, I mean, for real. I mean, you know, it
Oh,
just makes no sense. It
no.
came across as extremely personal. Marty Fish was never the doubles player that Rajiv Ram has been. And it, you know what? I think there is something between the two of them that nobody that we don't know.
We don't know.
You know,
There's
I
something.
mean, like I don't know if Ram used to date his sister or I, there because it just makes no sense,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Why
exactly.
when he was Davis Cup captain, you when you're building your team and you have the number one doubles player in the world from your country and who has stated that they are available to play, and you choose not to put them on the team.
Crazy. And y'all, it wasn't like they didn't have other double specialists on the team. Don't, because I understand y'all like, oh, well, maybe he was making room for all the singles players and blah. No, 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 no. Because I'm pretty sure Austin Krajicek was on that team. Just saying.
So, you know, Marty Fish got to take that. Now is that our selection or is that our honorable mention?
I thought that was going to be our
Okay,
selection.
all right,
Of
I'm
course,
good with that.
that,
I'm
but
going.
you go with the honorable mention though, because he deserves his time in the sun as well.
Well, it's funny because the other, situation we were considering, so we'll give it the honorable mention, was look, there was a lot of stuff going on at the US Open this year. Was that match, y'all remember it, was Bonzi with Medvedev. And we love Medvedev, and part of the reason we like Medvedev is he's crazy.
Yeah.
Um, and when he adds his little brand of spiciness to matches, it's usually entertaining, and he likes playing the bad guy. But he normally, most of the time, keeps it to a certain level, right? But I don't know if you remember in the match, Bonzi was serving, and for whatever reason, the cameraman decides to get up while he's serving to exit the court. So the umpire, as he should have, was like, that was kind of interference. Let's give Bonzi another first serve. Medvedev lost it. And the reason why this fell into the petty category is because he allowed his rant really to go on all the way through the fifth set. I think they were in the third set when that happened, and then Medvedev, I think, maybe even bailed him in the fourth set, and then in the fifth set, when and he's keeping it going, and he's got the crowd going, and there's stoppage of play, and the thing that made it super petty for me is if the shoe had been on the other foot, Medvedev would have been acting the fool about getting a first serve. And
Right.
let's be clear, the umpire was right. There's no way you cannot give him a first serve if you have the cameraman getting up,
Right.
walking
Oh,
on the court
yeah.
when you're serving.
Yep.
So I think it was more intentional
Yes.
it was pettiness
It was for
on
sure.
Medvedev's part to try to disrupt this match to get the win. And that's where it started to feel like gamesmanship, and it really started to feel a bit unprofessional.
Yeah.
So, Medvedev, you got to take this one, my man.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, echo every word that you said. I just felt like he went well over the line and was
Mhm.
honestly just very, very disrespectful to Bonzi. I was
Yes.
so very happy that he was able to pull the match out regardless, and
Hmm.
he did win that match, Bonzi.
Yes.
But yeah, all of the theatrics and to me, it just went well far over the line, and it was
Right.
intentional. It was disrespectful, and
Yep.
that's just not something that you should award. Yeah,
Right.
there should yeah, it was bad.
Right. So, Medvedev's our winner on the men's side. For the women, Isaac.
So listen, we know this young lady had a crazy year. Um, my personal opinion, she made a lot of really bad choices. Um, the first was hiring Goran Ivanisevic and then basically saying, "Oh, I just hired my previous coach back on our team without even letting him know." That's a warning sign.
Mhm.
Um, and then basically she hires Davide Sanguinetti, and he's doing his best to do what he can. And former coach then is like gets the thumbs up, you can come back. So then she brings him back, fires or lets David Sanguinetti go. And then at the end of the year, when it comes time to, I don't know what was actually going on, if but it was at the WTA finals. Um, Said player, who is, by the way, Elena Rybakina, decides that she's not going to shake somebody's hand because she's butthurt based on her coach having been or gone through what he went through. And so she doesn't shake the hand of the CEO of the WTA, Miss Portia Archer, who happens to be a sister.
Mm-hmm.
Let us put that out there.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not going to shake the sister's hand when all folks were trying to do was protect you because your coach was being verbally abusive, among other things, with you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, sis. That's petty.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
petty.
As we've seen with like Danielle Collins, that vitamin D is strong.
Hey, it
And I'm just saying, I mean, it's strong.
is
And
strong, bro.
it got her acting crazy. And that was not a good look at I mean, shout out to her for winning the year end championship, but
Yes.
it was not a good look at the end where she wouldn't even allow herself to be in the picture
Right.
with the WTA CEO. And, there, you can feel however you want to feel about something, but it's kind of the same thing we were saying about Medvedev. When you are a professional in whatever area, and in your area is tennis, there is a certain level of professionalism, of decorum that you have. Now, once y'all get off the court and whatever, you can not speak in the hallways, you can choose not to do whatever, but
Right.
that just made it a bad look on the entire tour.
It did.
And yes, a well-deserved Miss Petty Award for 2025 for Atlanta Rabakina.
Boom.
So,
Craziness, Bryce. Crazy.
so those are our winners for this year for each of the categories. And what do you think? I mean, do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us? Hit us up in the comments and let us know. But we think all of these situations really ramp us up for a very exciting upcoming 2026 season.
Absolutely. It's gonna be great, y'all. There will be more drama. There will be more awards to be handed out for sure. Because, tennis players are crazy. So we got a lot of things to look forward to in 2026. So I'm excited.
Yes. And I believe in about a week, Isaac, we're going to be doing our preview show for
Correct.
the Australian Open. So, uh, you know, prep tournaments for the Australian Open are already underway. And we can't wait to review those draws and share our thoughts and predictions with all of you. And once again, that'll be in about a week. We'll put that out.
Perfect. Exactly.
So, with that, thanks for tuning in. We're looking forward to this year. And on behalf of the podcast, this has been your boy Bryce,
And this is your boy Isaac.
and we are Brothers on Tennis. Happy New Year, everyone.